Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be showing you a new assigned pooling stitch. It's called a holly, or perhaps I'm going to name it a rose as well, because as you can see, this stitch will produce tiny pieces of holly, but it might, if you use your imagination, it looks a bit like roses as well. I'm using it to knit a baby sweater, and it's meant to look, here I'm on Sleeve Island, as you can see. It's meant to look like a Christmas pudding. I'll put an image in your screen right now. But below you have this lovely, yummy, dark cake with apple, with raisins, and you can see little specks of berries in there. And on top there is some icing, and throughout the icing you can see little pieces of holly. It's very seasonal, it's very much Christmas themed, and I hope my little one can wear it during those days. I'm using several of my hand-dyed yarns. So this is the Christmas pudding one. I hope you can see the little red details in there. And the other one is an assigned pooling yarn, which has red and green parts in it. Let me see if I can unravel. Yeah, there you go. So there's a green part, a red part, and another green part. And I'm going to use that to make these little textured stitches. I'm going to explain every detail step by step, first from the right side and then from the wrong side of your fabric as well. If you check my website, there's a full recipe style pattern on how to make this sweater yourself. So do check that out if you're interested. Yeah, and let's get going. Assigned pooling is a really cool dyeing technique where one section of the yarn is dyed in a strong contrast color on purpose. That section isn't random, it's meant to trigger a specific stitch pattern whenever you reach it. So instead of letting the colors pool unpredictably, you'll have an assigned texture to that contrast section. So you'll knit a basic stitch of, for instance, stockinette, and whenever you reach the contrast color, you'll change to the textured stitch. And it's a really simple way to create a complex looking fabric just by following the colors of your yarn. The holly stitch is worked over 3 rows, and first I'm going to show you how to do all the instructions from the right side, which is what most of you are going to use since you're going to knit probably a top-down sweater in the round. And you're going to knit all the rows from the right side, so that's what's most important, and that's what I'm going to show you. And later on in the video I will give the same instructions but from the wrong side, just in case you decide to pick another pattern and you have a flat pattern and need wrong side instructions. Right, so first up is the first row from the right side. You're going to knit in stockinette until your yarn changes color to green, as you can see here. Now we're going to create a loop by sticking our needle from the front to the back of the fabric and knitting and creating a loop as such. Now you're going to twist that loop a couple of times, not too much, about 3 or 4 times is perfect, and just leave it on your right hand needle for now. Now knit into the stitch below the stitch on your left hand needle, flip the stitch back to your left hand needle and knit into the front, the back and the front again, essentially creating 3 new stitches. Now you're going to turn your work over and you're going to purl 3. 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, your yarn is about to change color to green again. That's fine. Sometimes there's a bit of red left, sometimes it's still green. It's green already, it's fine. Slip 2 stitches from your left hand needle to your right hand needle and knit the last red stitch. Slip those 2 stitches over the first stitch, and now you have created a little bubble on your right hand needle. Now slip the loop you've created in the beginning, slip it over the bubble. Sometimes it's a bit troublesome, so sometimes you need to wiggle it around a bit, but we're fine. And now we are going to slip that bubble back to your left hand needle once more. Bring your yarn to the front. Slip the stitch back to your right hand needle and knit in stockinette with the white part of your yarn. Now this is very important because you're creating bring your yarn to the back and then knit in stockinette. Yes, you're going to create this funny little green looking loop in front of your work, but we're going to knit that on the other rows. Continue in stockinette on your row. This is the second row of the holly stitch, and you're going to encounter that weird looking green loop in your fabric. Now what you're going to do with your right hand needle is pick up that loop, knit the next stitch, that's the bubble stitch, and pick up that same loop again. So essentially you're creating 2 new stitches, and that's it for this row. So just continue in stockinette again until you encounter that same stitch again on the third row. On the third row, you are going to look for the first stitch before the green loop. So there should be 5 stitches in total, white, green, white, green, white. And you're going to slip the first stitch on your needle and then take the green stitch and twist it around a couple of times, just like you did on the first row. 3 or 4 times should do the trick. Slip the white stitch back from your right hand needle to your left hand needle and knit them together. Now knit the next stitch on your needle, that's your bubble stitch again, and you should encounter another green loop, which you are going to twist again. And you're going to knit that one together with the next white stitch on your needle through the back loop, so the green loop will be in front of the white one. So creating this stitch on the wrong side of your work is pretty similar to doing so on the right side. So what I usually do is, in order to create my loop, I just turn my work over and just like as I would on the right side of the fabric, I'd create a loop and I put that loop on my left hand needle before switching back again. And now I can knit into the stitch below the first stitch on your left hand needle from back to front and do the same thing. So switch over again to the right side and then knit into the front, the back and the front again. Turn your work over. Essentially you're creating a bubble in exactly the same way as you did on the other instruction. So you're going to purl 3, turn your work again, slip 2 stitches and knit the last red stitch. Oh, whoops. First put my yarn in the back, slip those 2 stitches and then knit 1 stitch and slip past those 2 stitches over the first stitch. There's our bobble again, and we need to twist. Oh no, wait, is this right? No, I need to twist it first. So twist it a couple of times and then wiggle it over your bobble. And I need to get this out of the way. Yes, perfect. Okay, there we are. There's our bobble. And now we need to move our green yarn to the front of the work again. So slip your stitch back to your left hand needle, move your yarn to the front or to the back really, and continue purling, but only use the white part of your yarn, as you can see here, and continue purling. Now the second row is much simpler than the first row. First row is very complex. Now we're going to encounter that red bobble stitch again, and that weird green loop on the front, which we're going to pick up, purl our bobble stitch and pick up that green loop again. You can pick it up with your right hand needle or your left hand needle, it doesn't matter, as long as you create 2 new stitches on your needle and continue purling. And lastly, on the third row, we are going to decrease 2 stitches by knitting them together with 1 stitch before or after the green stitch. So first slip your white stitch from your left to your right hand needle and twist that green loop of yarn a couple of times. You need to twist it in order to tighten it up a bit. And now we're going to purl it together, but through the back loop, as you can see here. Now purl 1 stitch, that's your bobble stitch. Twist the green loop of yarn and do another purl 2 tug, this time a regular one. Sometimes it's a bit hard because the loop is tight, but it will give the nicest result. And there you are. There's another piece of holly in your fabric. Well done. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and hit subscribe for more knitting tutorials, especially if you're into assigned pooling yarns. Thank you so much for watching and happy knitting.